That's an issue. Whoa. Hello? I'm not pressing a button. I'm just turning my mouse. Feels like my character likes to do moonwalks right now or something. What the Okay. Alright everybody, hello and welcome back to another episode of Scrap Mechanic with me, Spacefish, and unfortunately still out of sunshake in here. But that said, I have done a bit of grinding, and as you can see right here, I have actually gotten myself a bit more tier 2 metal blocks. Now, I'm kind of confused, because I'm pretty sure that before saving and leaving after all the grind to come back later to record, I was at 180, not 170, so not sure if some metal maybe disappeared on me there. But with that said, that should cover me for a bit now. Now, as you can see, I already also got some ember on top of that to be able to make all that tier 2 metal, and all the concrete is gone. That was because we actually totally managed to fill up this chest. So I just, well, made a concrete chest. Did unfortunately, of course, cost me some metal, but I really just ran out of space here. I mean, you may remember that I had already so nicely plastered my walls in concrete just to somehow, you know, place that somewhere, but like in the end, I ended up having to do this to finally have some space in here again so I could even refine some more metal. That said, as you all may remember, in the last episode, we did make some good progress on this. We've got an engine on it now, we've got a fuel tank on it now, we've got our trusty driver's seat, and, well, I've kind of got a bit of a plan of where I want to go with this thing. So, I am pretty happy with this so far, but now it is going to be time to actually continue our build. And, I mean, I think the first thing on the list really here has to be getting a bit more of that suspension stuff in, and I'm currently kind of spotting a major issue right here, being that we are probably a bit low on suspension components. And I'm going to check out how much stuff do we actually use here. We've got 2 curves basically and 1 straight, so that would mean with like another 4 tires on there, we'll need like 6 more curves, and we're good for straight parts, so maybe we do actually have... Yep. We do have enough metal. We just need to make some more small pipe bends. So that's awesome. I'm also already thirsty, and I'm not actually sure I remembered to make myself some food. Totally didn't, so bit of an issue right there. I'm going to at least put some seeds into the soil right here already, but I will have to come back later to go and water that, because I don't usually want to bore you all with it. But that said, you know, very low on food. Very low on food. I'm maybe actually going to go and start using... maybe other side? Yes. Start using some of that nicely prepared food that we had initially kind of made for the expedition. You know, I still have that in my backhand at the very least. So, could end up just doing that. I think we are probably going to do that because I don't have the time to make food right now. We are kind of busy with more important things, and more important things being, of course, our trusty nice truck. I hope. I very much hope so. So, what we're going to do out here... How did I just do that? That was interesting. What I'm going to do out here for the time being, I'm going to go and expand this upper part right here, and we're just going to go and mimic... this, yes, we're going to mimic the width that we had kind of set up for ourselves below there. So we kind of have a bit of an indication left, you know, how we are going to do this whole back loading surface. Now, as I already pointed out in the last episode, I think we're going to make it one higher, because this is, of course, the frame. And we're going to have the wheels sitting somewhere. So with all that like wheel assembly and the springs and everything going on right there, we may have to end up moving that one further up, which could end up complicating things a bit more as well, actually thinking about it, because I do, of course, kind of want to probably try and have a bit of a loading ramp going on where we can like drive up some vehicles, because, you know, the idea after all is not only just that we put like some of our devices on here and maybe like a few chests that we move around, and oh boy, I just did a whoopsie. And all these things, but we would also want to try and move our vehicles with this. So, well, that would be a rather important thing to actually get on here as I kind of try and rebuild what I had out here on the right, because I, of course, totally forgot to do just that. But yeah, so we'll kind of see how this is going to work, because as you all can see, I mean, the vehicle's very, very, very far up already, which, I mean, in itself, I think is pretty fine. We just need to find, like, a creative way to actually get the vehicles onto here, and I'm currently not really sure. I mean, I don't really see a possibility for a mechanism where we would kind of lower the whole loading surface to, like, a point where we could drive a vehicle onto it. So the only thing that I can really imagine at the moment would be having a little bit of a ramp, maybe even having the ability to kind of just tilt down the back half of the loading surface to be able to drive something on top of it. But one way or another sounds pretty complicated and all, and I'm not, like, too sure about that just yet. So we'll have to see there. For the time being, I'm just going to go and kind of try and pull out. How many did we go out here? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to try and pull out something like this, and we're going to try and find a good spot for these wheels. Now, I'm kind of having to think here, right? Because the system that we want to apply to how we actually drive the vehicles on is kind of going to be essential to how we place these tires. Because if I say I want to have, like, a back part of the loading surface tilt down, I can, in that case, probably not really have tires right here, because, you know, thing needs some space to be able to be tilting down. So, well, I mean, that would, of course, also mean that we would have to stop the frame somewhere, right? Because, like, we cannot, well, I mean, or tilt part of the frame. We'll see about that, but I mean, that's kind of an issue, because I don't really want to have a huge overhang over the back wheels, if that makes sense, because a huge overhang over the back wheels for me just kind of spells trouble in terms of, like, load distribution, and then, you know, us speeding up and maybe the whole vehicle tilting backwards. So I think we're gonna try and somehow find a solution where our back wheels can sit pretty far back overall, and we will hopefully not have to worry ourselves about it. Now, I did have a bearing right here, but as I said, I want to try and make this front wheel steering only, if possible. So we're going to keep it at this. I'm going to do that, and I think I am actually... I'm actually not lacking bearings. That's good news. Probably want to keep those blocks in there. But what I will do real quick already is I am going to go and pick up these small pipe bends right here. So we're already equipped for all the future wheels that we want to put on. And then, yeah, I mean... let's see about this. This was actually not a good idea, because, of course, I would not even need this pipe right here to be... Oh, wait. This is interesting. This is actually kind of interesting, right? Because I was talking about earlier how we cannot really tilt the back of the loading surface that easily because, you know, the wheels would be in the way and everything. But given that I don't need this pipe right here, because I'm not putting a bearing for steering here, we could put this whole construction one further down, which would potentially give us a bit of space to actually tilt the loading surface. So that's an interesting idea. I am going to do that. That means that, like, those straight pipes are really kind of worthless to us right now, but that shall be fine for the time being. I need another 2 out, right? Yep. And... well, I mean, we're going to try it this way. I would really like if that works out for us, because that does give us a little bit more room to play with to kind of tilt the loading surface a bit, even if it's not fully tilting it down, right? Like, I mean, I could imagine a mechanism where we slightly tilt it down, and then we have, like, a little bit of a ramp that goes and tilts down a little bit further, and that way we can kind of just have a ramp to drive up on. Something along those lines. I feel a little more confident now that such a mechanism would potentially work. So, maybe actually a very, very good thing that we do not have the need to actually, turn these wheels. So hopefully that's gonna work out just fine for us. That means I don't really need that thing in my inventory bar down there anymore, and we are going to go and put a wheel on right there. Now, for spacing, let me kind of just think about this for a quick minute. We would, of course, have some sort of wheel well right here, and I kind of probably want to think about this for a minute. I mean, the wheel well would come in from the body, right? So, body being somewhere else, really. I'm just going to pull this out right here, probably. Just like that. Going to cost us a bit of metal now, but I want to make it properly, because we're not going to, like, we're going to attach the body to the actual frame in, like, a few separate parts, but overall, the body's not going to be, like, totally attached to every single part we have on this ride, if it makes sense. Also, what I should probably consider, like, is the whole kind of welding part of things. I'm not sure still, like, I've not once used welding yet, and from what I heard, I mean, for one, it is seemingly pretty good in the way that it actually allows for you to, well, increase the part count on your vehicles a bit more without risking a whole lot of lag, which is great. And also, I think I'm not going to do it like this, though. And also, I think maybe it has some strength implications or something. I'm really not quite sure. I always forget about the welding part of things. So if you all know about this, please let me know once more down below. I'm really sorry. I know I keep needing these informations, but I think maybe that should be something I should use a bit more here. So I'm just going to measure out the wheel width here real quick. So we've got one central block pretty much. Then we go out 1, 2 to each side pretty much. So we would have a space here, then we would have 1, 2, and this would kind of have to be our central block, if that makes sense. So we're going to attach that to the frame right here, like this. Then we're going to remove that, and this is kind of going to be where we're going to have our wheel. So going to remove a few blocks right here. Then we're going to put that on right there. I am going to go and grab another spring and another wheel, and we're just going to do the same thing over again, and hopefully this alignment should be right. I'm rather confident it is. Let's see. Yep, look at that. Awesome. So, idea being then here that we've got one big wheel well, I think, for both of these wheels. I don't really see the need for two separate ones. I think that will probably also end up looking a bit better. So yeah, I think you now kind of see my intent. It's all coming together a bit, you know, in terms of how we want to build this vehicle. I'm going to just replicate the same thing on this side here real quick. So 3 blocks, 4, 5, and we're going to put a nice little bit of a bend right there. And, well, you can all see, like, now all my hard grind is really paying off finally. It's taken me so long to get all this stuff going properly, but now we have got all the springs, we've got all the bearings and all the wheels and everything coming together all at once, and we can finally actually use this, well, more of a frame than a whole chassis so far yet, but still, we can finally use this to get a moving vehicle going. At least I hope it's going to be moving. We do, of course, still very much lack all the component kits, which I can also still grind, so that's going to be another fun few hours for me. But once those are in there, then we should be very, very good finally. And that is now kind of our vehicle. I mean, this should be drivable, right? Unless it kind of scrapes along the floor because all the springs are max compressed. But other than that, it should all work out for us. We've got the seat, we've got the tank, we've got the engine. Yeah, and I think we don't really even have anything more to put on there except for actually getting a frame going, then probably making like a controller and actually, you know, getting some sort of mechanism going to drive things onto this, getting like a driver's cabin, getting the doors. So, I mean, there's a lot of structural things, but functionally, except for the component kits, this should be good. And look at that. The springs are not even fully compressed, which is awesome. Because, you know, that was kind of my hope as well, right? That, I mean, for one, we will maybe not need to push in that many component kits if we make a few more wheels and springs here. And also that we can hopefully have, like, very, very heavy loads. As in, for example, a whole vehicle, or even maybe two. Or, like, a lot of crates, because who knows how many those weigh without really having too much trouble with our springs. And as you can see right here, I mean, these are not even at their limit yet. Doesn't mean that I'm not going to push any component kits into them. I think I should, because, like, that's, like, yeah. I mean, one component kit a piece is really not that expensive. And as you can see, I mean, these are at level 3, which does make sense, I think, because with the engine up here, with a fuel tank, with the driver's cabin, there is going to be a lot of load on this single set of wheels as well. So I think that is sort of sensible to have it like that. But let's go and hop in right here and be totally... No, we're not out of fuel. I think I've just not linked the tank up to the engine just yet. So there we go. I mean, level 1 engine, so I don't really want to use it too much because it's going to use a lot of fuel probably with its efficiency. But, well, it all still looks a bit funky. And it's all still not driven because I have not set up any links just yet. But it should work. So, let's see. I have apparently made this all-wheel drive, which is kind of interesting. So I'm not sure I had this planned, but I'm going to remove this link for the time being. I'm just going to put the power to any back wheels that I have available. I think I can't even do more than 2, yeah, with the current engine level. So idea then being that once we level the engine up once, we're going to connect these 2, and once we level it up more, we're going to connect up those eventually as well, maybe potentially. That said, we really only need 4 component kits for 1 engine upgrade, so... Given the efficiency gains, I would really like to do this, but we're all out. I thought I had at least 1 component kit or something. No. Okay. I think that'll come at a later point then, but we've got 2 axles driven. So it should be something, right? Let me just check that I've actually got the steering linked. I do. Okay. Let's try it out. Oh, wow. Oh yeah, I mean, first issue already spotted. Rotation, not aligned just yet, so that's fixed. Let's try that again, but still. Yeah. I mean, for one, this thing sounds like a tractor. And I think the engine is still very much at tractor level, really. And also my steering is inverted, which is interesting. Yes? More like that? Yeah, left, right. Okay, that makes more sense. But still, we are a bit slow, I would say. And that's max power for this engine right now. And we only really have the frame going for the vehicle. So it's going to become a lot quicker, especially a lot heavier. Especially once we actually get some stuff loaded onto it. So, you know... It's certainly not going to become any better unless we put some engine upgrades in there, which we definitely need to put a bunch of engine upgrades into there. But yeah, so that's kind of great. That's kind of cool. I love it. We still also need to design a hood for the engine, but that can come in at a later point. I'm now going to close up... Whoops. Gonna close up this here a bit, I feel, because we do, of course, sometime also need to design the driver's cabin. And speaking of driver's cabin, I think what we can do probably is actually get a bit of glass onto this, because I should have some leftovers of glass. And I mean, with all the and we're thirsty again, great stuff, but with all the concrete that we have, it should really not be too hard of a task to get some glass going for ourselves, because idea, of course, is here we will have a nice glass window surrounded driver's cabin. So I mean, I'll kind of have to see what makes sense visually. Maybe I should actually move this one further up in terms of metal coverage. So we'll just... Nope, wrong material. Sort of like that, maybe. Yeah, and then... I'm not quite sure where I'll end off the driver's cabin just yet, to be honest. Because, I mean, I need some space? Do I need some space? I probably do. Thing is, I don't want to bug myself into anything, right? So, I mean, we're definitely going to make it a bit higher in terms of, like, how far up the glass goes. that does now probably make some sense, and then we'll kind of continue with metal up here. And we'll, make that one higher, and then I'll kind of try and see if I bug myself in like this, or if it actually works. I hope I don't bug myself in and die. That would be very, very, very sad. And it seems a bit high, that driver's cabin, doesn't it? Like, visually, that's a bit mad. I think that's... The question kind of being, right, if I close it off from the top here, do I just pop in at the sides, or do I pop my head into the ceiling and die? I mean, I kind of pop my head into the ceiling, but I also don't die. So, you know, I guess that's... I mean, I'm not too sure I'm all too comfortable with this. No, I think I'm just bugging out the back there, because, I really don't like that too much just yet. Maybe we can kind of go for a middle ground by having the ceiling come in, like, right there instead. Let's try that. Ow! Oh! Now I'm stuck. Oh! Okay. That is an issue. Okay. So, maybe warrants a bit of a redesign. We do need that high up ceiling, which is... kind of annoying in terms of design, but maybe I can just exchange some of these metal blocks up here with a bit of glass without having the whole thing fall down, preferably. Got to watch out with that. Maybe that makes it a bit more sensible then. I mean... Oh, we're dying. I think I'm actually going to pick up, like, a burger from here this time around, because I don't really have that much in terms of different kinds of food. So let me eat a burger. Let's see how much of an effect that has for us. Oh! Okay, filled up. Good stuff. Not gonna have to worry for a few years now. But yeah, so... I don't know, maybe it actually makes more sense once that whole thing gets a bit wider and, like, the trunk has a bit more girth and we've got some doors in it. So let's leave it like this for the time being. I would really have liked to make it a bit lower, to be honest, because... Oh my god, I'm still bugging in. Are you for real? Don't want to drive, actually. That's an issue. Whoa. Hello? I'm not pressing a button. I'm just turning my mouse. Feels like my character likes to do moonwalks right now or something. What the... Okay. Hello? Can we stop? Thank you. I mean, my idea here was for a second to just maybe, like, have a little bit of a moonroof in there, like... An actual, you know, moonroof without any glass in there. Be a bit cold, probably, but, you know, as long as I don't get myself bugged in right there. I mean, it's a bit annoying, right? Because one would hope that you just kind of end up stepping off to the side. As one probably would, you know, using a vehicle. You know, I don't really stand up in the middle of my car on top of the driver's seat, and nor would a truck driver probably stand up in the middle of his truck on the middle of his driver's seat. Like, there's space to the left and right just for these purposes. But yeah, so something like this would work. Doesn't really mean I like it, but maybe we can kind of get a bit of a visual design element in there, like with a little bit of a slanted roof for something. Let's see about that, but for the time being, I guess this is kind of our fix-ish. And maybe we can that way also move it a bit further down. Or not. Now I'm stuck again. Great. How does that keep me stuck? I'm kind of confused. But yeah, so maybe we'll make it like a bit of a slanted roof that way or something along those lines. We'll see. We'll see. That's kind of the idea for that. And, well, now it's kind of also time to think about, like, loading surfaces and cockpit back and everything. I'll most certainly end off the cockpit right here. That's something that I've kind of already predetermined for myself, and thus, you know, we can kind of extend this wall out here a bit, just like that. And, well, now that the question kind of being, how am I intending to get up into this cockpit? I think I'll have a door here eventually, but we can widen it a bit. It should be fine. We can also hide that part now, which I also very much like. And I think a bigger challenge will also be actually mirroring all this to the other side. I feel that may be a bit of a harder part of this, but as I've got the wheel well here right now, I'm gonna kind of extend that downwards, if that makes sense. Yeah, and then we've got kind of, well, maybe we can just kind of use the wheel well as a ladder on this vehicle. As there's no real ladders in this game, that kind of makes sense, does it? Kind of like the idea. May actually end up being what we will do, and then, you know, kind of going around here, you know, having that. I'm kind of already out of metal blocks again, which is crazy, insane to say the least. Like, very, very mad stuff. But yeah, so that kind of being my idea for the driver's cabin. Then we've kind of got our central frame here. This will all kind of disappear, and we'll put the loading surface one further up, and then we will have like a tiny bit of space to give the loading surface like a little slant, maybe, so it maybe ends up like right here at this height, and then we'll have like a bit of a elevated ramp, I think, on the back of here, which, I mean, we kind of need to have like something around the loading surface anyways to kind of make sure things don't fly all over the place, right? So the ramp will kind of just be part of that like end of the loading surface, if that makes sense, and then we'll just have the ramp slant down to here and tilt it down the rest of the way. I think something like that is basically my intention with this. This stuff we all also need to build out as well. That stuff we need to build out as well. This project is way more crazy than I thought it was. It's absolutely mad. I think I've kind of done like 11 mining runs by now for this vehicle, and we're not even close to done. So probably going to be like doing 30-40 mining runs just for the materials for the basic layout of this vehicle now, and then I am gonna have to also go for a lot of component kits to kind of upgrade the shocks a bit more, which for the time being, you know, they're not too bad. They're doing pretty fine, which is really surprising to me, but happy with that. And definitely I'm gonna have to max out this engine, I think. Because, like, the speed at which we're moving right now, I mean, yeah, we're going to be driving more wheels as well, which should help, hopefully, get that power down a bit better. Because you saw there at the beginning, I think we had even a bit of wheel spin. Yeah, look at that. You even got wheel spin on that right wheel, which is crazy. But then again, we've got more weight kind of on the left side of the vehicle right now with all these fender parts and everything. But yeah, I mean, we'll need more wheels driven, and we'll definitely need more power for this. But that's something that we'll take care of in the next episode, once I've grinded a lot more metal, so we can hopefully move on the framework of this truck. But for the time being, I'm going to end it off right here. I hope you all very much enjoyed this episode. I hope you all very much liked our progress. If you did, as always, please make sure to hit that like button down below. That does always very much help out the channel and pushing out the video to some more viewers as I get stuck in here again. Save me. And if you're new around here, haven't hit that subscribe button just yet, and want to stay around for future videos, definitely make sure to hit that subscribe button right down below, as well as that notification bell to get all the updates when any episodes come out. And with that said, as always, thanks a lot for watching, everyone, and I hope I'll catch you in the next one. Ciao.